the suburbs. Lit the sky with too much reverb. We're getting the band back together.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Producer's Perspective Live, and happy Monday. What'd you all do this weekend? Let me know what you did this weekend. All stayed inside, live stream stuff. I'll tell you what I did. I bet you could, if you're a frequent viewer of the show, then you probably can tell what I did. I found something to sit on, because if you remember last week's episode, I realized I was like Dorf, as like Ashley Park was towering over me like the giant in Into the Woods. I have now found, well, I'll show you. It's the bumper protector from my car. I am sitting on the bumper protector from my car just to make sure I don't, again, look like Dorf. Anyway, that was the big home improvement, live stream improvement activity of the weekend. Look, Mike Locke planted shrubs. Okay, great. Wayne Stafford writing a musical. Okay, you have something in common with today's guest who, trivia question, wrote a musical. We may talk about that. What else? What else did we do? Someone's sipping wine right now. Did you catch last week's episode with Ashley Park or last Friday's? All the replays are up on our Facebook page, so go check them out. And welcome back to all of you who are frequent guests and the new ones, the new folks we have. I think we have a brand new visitor tonight. Look, Sharon Fontana is here tonight. Could that be Mom? Oh, it's Mom. It's amazing. I love it. So you can't see Santino right now. I can see his face. His hands are in his face like this. It's the best. This is why we do this, to embarrass Broadway stars. That's the sole reason we do this. Anyway, we do have the amazing Santino Fontana with us tonight. I've been, I always research my guests, even when I know them. And I stumbled on a video of Santino singing 10 minutes ago from Cinderella. I felt like a 12-year-old girl. I was just swooning all day, and I have not stopped singing 10 minutes ago. And frankly, wish he would come over and sweep me up in my arms. It's an incredible. No, he's shaking his head. No. He's like, never, no. So anyway, go listen to that video or get that recording, stream it, because it's a sensational production. Of course, he won a Tony Award for Tootsie. We're going to show a picture. I'm going to go slowly now so Mary can keep up with me. She's slow on the trigger finger. His Broadway debut was Sunday in the Park with George, I believe. What you also may not know, he does plays as well. A View from the Bridge. Mary does not have a photo of that. But of course, star of television as well, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and film. He was the voice of the prince in Frozen. You may know that. We had the Lopez's on the other day. If you're a fan of Santino, give us a bunch of likes and thumbs up and hearts. I know Mom's going to give some hearts and thumbs up on that live stream, right? Let's spread the word about this, because we are here for the Actors Fund. And the more likes and hearts you give us, the more we spread the word, the more viewers we get, and the more money we raise for the Actors Fund. What happened today? Outer Critics nominees today were released, so that's interesting. Go check that out. If you've watched last week or the week before, I don't remember, it's all one big live stream blur now. Michael Arden talked about this very cool social distancing show he's doing in the woods. It's very Michael Arden, very just like in the woods. Site-specific, socially distanced theater. Anyway, we promised that we'd throw up the Kickstarter. There's the information. It'll be the link in the comments. Check it out. Everything that Michael does is amazing. You go in your car. I'm going to go if we're allowed to drive on the Palisades Parkway. I will be there. And of course, we also announced our Daddy Longlegs reunion, which is coming up on May 21st at 8 p.m. I think I found a way to hack the system and have a movie night of this beforehand. Stay tuned for that, or email me. I don't think I'm supposed to talk about it too much, because Broadway HD will come hunt me down. So that's all I'm going to say about that. It's not like this is being live streamed and thousands of people won't watch. So anyway, that's enough of that, but email me. We may have some more information about that. Let's get to the sole reason that Sharon Fontana showed up today and bring on the guest of the hour. Please welcome the Tony Award winner, Mr. Santino Fontana.
Good. Hi. That is terrifying. It's just like terrifying. And I already texted her, stop.
I saw her name pop up and I literally was like, wait, I have to make sure. So I've been like Googling, yes, son of Sharon Fontana in Stockton, California. That's where you grew up with the
100%.
Amazing. How are you?
Where are you? Where are you in Elton John's recording studio? What's going on?
I am. That's another change. I figured out how to hang a piece of art that I'd been sitting over here I'm in my home office.
I think it looks really cool. I think I want to hire you to design my apartment.
Not me. It's not me. My wife.
There you go.
Where are you? Are you here in the city? Are you hunkered down?
No,
here?
I'm in Vermont with a friend. A friend had a place up here that was empty, and we have a 7-month-old. So being trapped in the apartment in New York was getting hard. So now we have this lovely space up here in the middle of nowhere, which is beautiful, and we're up here.
Now, where were you? I've been asking all the guests, where were you when the virus hit the fan, as I like to say, when you were like, oh, this is serious and life is going to change?
Well, my birthday was what was the day I was doing an audiobook actually of the new, there's a Hunger Games audiobook that I was doing, which is a dystopian reality, terrifying. And that was right at the end of, that's when it's like, everyone stay home. And then it was my birthday. So my birthday was locked in, March 21st.
Huh. Do you do audiobooks a lot? Is this the first one? Or is this
I did a handful. I did the Stephen King one, The Institute, which was which was great. And that was during Tootsie. And then this Hunger Games one, I've done like a handful of them. It's like a fun side thing to do.
And are you able to still do them now? Is it something you can do from where you are? Nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's not always a ton, but it is the one thing that voiceover auditions, both commercially and for animation stuff, but also audiobooks. Those are the only things really that you can do. In fact, today I was helping Rodgers set up his microphone at home stuff because he needed some help with the technology.
Yeah, I feel like the sales for toilet paper, hair dye, and voice recording studios for actors just all trying to figure out how they can get some work done during this period.
I think that's right.
So what, a 7-month-old, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Boy, girl?
Girl, her name is Grace.
Girl, amazing.
Yeah.
So describe a typical day for you all now in this craziness. What's it like?
We're basically, she just went to bed. So we put her down like around 7-ish, and then we'll have dinner, and then we'll go watch the Michael Jordan documentary, which is what we're watching now. And then we'll wake up whenever she wakes up in the middle of the night. I should say my wife is really doing most of this because she's feeding her. And then in the morning, it's like, it's up. I think we're all doing the same thing. It's up and down every day. I'm really organized. Everything is clean. I'm playing with my daughter a lot, which is great.
Yeah.
And, just trying to stay sane.
Yeah, I have the same routine. So I just put my daughter down. She's 2. And now I'll go out afterwards and have some snack or dessert with my wife, watch something, and thank you for the recommendation on the Michael Jordan documentary, because every night it's like we got to find something new.
It's great. It's really great.
I'm going to really take a sharp left turn here and say, is it true that I'm into staring at people's Wikipedia pages and finding things that are like very unique. You perform with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Is this true?
I did many times, and including with the Muppets.
What? Yeah, because that's Tony Award winner, the Muppets, and the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. How does this come about? Your agent call you and like, Santino.
It was one of those. I was like, "Are you sure?" I mean, what? Why? They have a lot. They love musical theater. So Kristen Chenoweth, Sutton Foster. I think Kelly O'Hara did this last year's. Laura Stokes, all those people. Rebecca Luker. They have a lot of those people come in and sing with them, and they're an amazing choir, and they're very sweet. And I'm from a small town in Washington State where a large portion of the population is Mormon. So I was surrounded by Mormon people all the time. The joke always then was like, no one ever knew a Jewish person. Then I moved to New York, and everyone was like, have you ever met a Mormon person? I was like, yeah, I've met them all. They're all they're very kind. Everyone's a good person. So, in that, so nuts. But yes, I have.
So I got that right? Sunny in the Park was your Broadway debut?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
But, I had to be reminded of The View from the Bridge, which you were a replacement on, right?
Yeah, because that was the show where the Actors Fund came in and kind of like saved me. So I got injured during that show. I was in Brighton Beach Memoirs right before that.
Mm-hmm.
And we closed like a week after we opened. And then I started rehearsals for View from the Bridge like 2 weeks later. I got a call and they were like, do you want to do View from the Bridge? I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I had a brain injury on stage in previews.
Oh.
I had a contusion on my brain, a bruise on my brain about the size of a baseball. I had to leave the show. I spent 2 weeks in the dark room. So the good thing is I'm fine now. But the Actors Fund, someone said, you have to get in touch with the Actors Fund. And I did, and they helped me, medically, emotionally, psychologically, financially, and professionally. They really stepped in and helped me out at a time when I really needed help. So I owe them a lot.
It's an incredible organization, and I love hearing stories like that. I mean, they literally help bridge the gap for so many performers.
And not just performers, also anybody who works in the performing arts. I really urge people, if they have a spare dollar or two to give to the Actors Fund, to do that. Or if they need help and they're in the performing arts, reach out to them, because they can help you, and they will.
Yeah, they don't turn people away. That's the amazing thing. If you're in the business, they'll figure out a way to help.
Yeah.
First of all, someone saw you with the Muppets here. Like, you were amazing with the Muppets, apparently.
See? I'm telling you. You can find that somewhere, I'm sure.
Oh, we'll find. Mary, dig that up.
No, not now. Please not now. Mom, stay quiet.
Yeah, Mom's going to send us clips.
Oh, my God.
Mom, just feed me the good stuff. But you go a little bit back and forth between plays and musicals. Do you have a preference?
Yeah, plays. I know.
Really?
I know you probably don't like it. I've done more plays than musicals, definitely. But it's a musical. You wake up, how you're feeling is going to decide your day. A play, you can be in all different. You can do a play with a sore throat or a sneeze or a cough. A musical, you're dealing with vocal cords that are the size of a quarter, and any inflammation you got to deal with it. It's just it's a different grind.
Well, Tootsie had
plays usually have an ending. Where musicals, you don't know. It could just keep going. There are people still in Chicago. So, well, not now, but up until now, they were still in it. So,
I feel like Tootsie had to be a real easy role to do, though. You just
easiest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. You could be smoking and just eating lots of dairy beforehand. What do you do to keep yourself in 8-show-week musical shape? I mean, is there a thing? And then what are you doing now?
Oh, now? Nothing. I mean, look at me. I look like I could be on the street. I'm doing nothing. Every show is different and has its own specific challenges and requirements. As I get older, I've definitely learned more about my body and my voice and my instrument, if you will. And I've been able to, I also have great teachers. I study voice with Joan Lader. I had great teachers in college. I had great, and I have a great support system of actors who have been there and done it. So I can call them and say, hey, what did you do when you had this and this and this and this? It's a small community of people that we're all trying to help each other figure it all out, because it's hard. You just take care of yourself. You know yourself, you take care of yourself. Yeah.
And so you've originated a few roles. What's your process for preparing for something like Tootsie, for example? How much work did you do in advance for that?
Well, Tootsie was unique because it was basically a 3-year process. The director, Scott Ellis, called me a week after we had worked on something else and said, hey, I've got a script. And from that day until opening, I want to say it was like 3 years and 9 different workshops and an out of town. So
9.
yeah. You know, so figuring all of that, there was a lot of time to develop that, and there were a lot of jobs in the middle of those things that we were all doing. So every job is completely different, and you have to. It depends. It depends on the piece. Depends on the role. Depends on, you know.
How different was the end result, Tootsie, from the first draft that you read? Like,
70% different, 80%,
really?
90% different. Oh God, yes, 100%.
And do you remember what it sounds like? Scott saw something in you, and he was right. Do you remember what it was, or have you ever had the conversation with him? Like, why did you say, like, you have to read the script? I think you're the guy to play this woman.
He said we had worked together very closely. We had worked together on something that I had written, and so I was very close. We were learning a lot about each other very quickly. I'd never worked for him or with him. I never really met him, and we really got along really well. And he had mentioned, I think he had mentioned. No, he hadn't mentioned it until later. He mentioned when he got the phone, when he called me and he said, "Hey, I've got a script. Will you look at it?" I was like, "Tootsie, based on the movie?" And I was like, and he said, "Yes." And I said, "You got to make sure you get the right person, because they have to be able to, like, when you get this list of, like, they have to really be able to sing, but they also have to be really an actor. You don't want someone who's only done musicals, and you also don't want someone who's just, I went in this huge, long, he was like, "Just read the script." I was like, "Okay, I'll read it." And he also understood that I'm engaged in the process. I love that. I love all of that stuff, which is what that character really is also like. And the play that we were working on had there were similarities to a character putting on a disguise in order to get what they want. And I think we just really liked each other. So, yeah.
How prepared were you for when they read your name out on the Tony Awards that it was you? Do you remember? I mean, do you remember the moment?
Well, here's the thing, and I get, because you went through this, you've gone through this, where the childhood memory and experience of watching your television set, where that's the only outlet you have to to theater, to professional theater, to people making a living in the arts, to being there with people that like, oh wait, I know where they live. Like, I go grocery shopping with them, and I know that's the cognitive dissonance of trying to understand, what does that mean? That happened to me at Cinderella, when I was nominated for Cinderella, and it happened this time again. The difference was my wife was 6 months pregnant at the time. It was obviously a crazy day, and I don't know if I've completely processed that. But it's also, it's in the middle of a work week. You have a show the next day. We had a show the next day. So it's not like, it's not all, champagne and caviar. It's a
now you're changing poopy diapers now. Let's face it.
Well, and now
have to change poopy diapers.
Yeah, there's a full blowout today. Had to go up the back.
Oh,
yeah.
The up the back blows are the worst.
Yeah.
Well, just wait for this. I'll just give you a little preview. We're potty training our kid, and there's nothing. You might prefer the blowout to going like, whoa, big, huge poopy, big, huge one. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, you're cheering and she's like trying to get you to look. It's not.
I'm not there yet. I'm trying to stay one day at a time. One day at a time.
You're about 1.5 years from now, buddy. You'll be texting me like, look at this, Ken.
So did you have to put stuff on all your toilets, right? Like little, to make the toilet smaller?
Yeah, we have a little combo. We have a little potty. So we're trying to get her off the potty and then onto the
human
big one, because otherwise you got to dump the thing. And that's just not pretty. Anyway, you're also a writer.
Yes.
So just get off the poopy.
Yes, I am.
And I actually, you wrote a musical called Perfect Harmony.
Co-wrote, yes, with a bunch of
Co-wrote.
people. Yes.
I saw it.
No, the one I was in
No.
at Tisch, or the one after.
I saw it at the Fringe.
So you saw it later. Wow. Yeah.
And I think I saw it. I think I saw the other one too, because my best friend Noah Weisberg was in the Fringe production, and I think you
the part that I played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were playing him. He's still not very happy about that. He's like, that bastard.
He is.
No, I'm just kidding.
That was the first thing I did in New York. I came to New York. I was at the Sundance Theater Labs, and I was doing the musical of the Andrew Cunanan story that Michael Greif was directing, and a play that Kate Wariski was directing. And I got a phone call from a friend who I'd met at the Guthrie. He said, hey, they lost this guy in this play. It's about a cappella groups called Perfect Harmony. Can you audition by phone? And I had the script, and I auditioned for the director, Andrew Grasso, by phone. And then when I got to the city, that was the first thing. We started rehearsals. It was all improvised. Jordan Gelber was in the very first group. Oh. Then they pared down all of our improvs and wrote this story about these warring a cappella groups. And it's right before Glee came out. So it was very timely. I
remember it was very enjoyable. I liked that piece a lot.
Yeah, thanks.
So so tell me about, have you always been a writer?
No. I mean, no. Yes and no. I went to, when I was in school, in high school, I mean, I was writing plays in middle school and stuff. I was involved in, student government, and we had a lot of, assemblies in which there were skits that I wrote. So yeah, that's my, but my actor training stuff that we had at school, at the Guthrie Theater's actor training program at the University of Minnesota, had a huge amount of dramaturgy involved in all of our training, so that we would be able to help develop pieces as well and understand them from a dramaturgical point of view. So, and a lot of improv stuff like that started happening. And I was seeing more and more friends who were also actors, who were also writing. And I was like, why not? Why not start doing this more often? And it was a great way to have some type of control, whereas an actor, you're waiting so often for other people to choose you, to be able to be a part of, what stories am I interested in? What do I want to say? So it's an active, parallel track at this point, I would say.
Can you tell us a little something you're working on?
Oh, I don't know if I want to. There's a bunch. There's TV stuff, and there's TV stuff. There's some straight play things, and there's some musical things.
And are you using this time are you finding yourself able to write more, not able to, too stressful?
Well, the challenge is with the 7-month-old, there is, part of me is loving just hanging out with her. And then the other part of me is, I can use this time to get stuff done. I mean, there's this great play that I did a reading of a long time ago, where it's basically it's so dark. I don't know. It's like a hostage crisis play. It's really, really dark, but it was a French play. And it had been translated by somebody else, and I found the original French, and I did basically a literal translation of it, which I just finished, which has been interesting, and now I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. As you do, translate French hostage crisis play.
Yeah, in the middle of a crisis.
I got time.
By the way, Ann Doherty recommends you get Once Upon a Potty, or maybe me.
I think that's for you, because I'm not ready.
You're not ready. But interestingly enough, your mom also just commented and said, if you ever need potty training tips for what worked for you, she'll mention that.
I'll kill you.
If you have questions, I'm trying to scroll through to see if we have any real questions here for Santino. Oh, wow, this is from my own summer. This is deep. Pick 3 characters. This will take an hour and a half. We'll just say one character that you've played and tell us how you would think they would spend their quarantine.
Oh.
This is
that's tough. I think. Oh, that's hard.
Very hard.
I think Michael Dorsey would spend quarantine miserable, driving people crazy. That's what I think.
That is true.
Yelling at people. Yeah.
Ellie wants to know if you actually speak French.
No, here's the
problem with the translation.
This is great. So we found I had Irene Tabish is her name. When I did 2 summers. I did theater at this place called Chautauqua, and she teaches like high level French. So I called her up and I said, "Hey, do you got some spare time? Do you want to read this?" So she recorded it for me, and then I transcribed it and went back and then used some amazing like software where you can start to translate stuff, and did it that way. Yeah.
Connie Hull asked, what is your favorite high school memory outside of theater? I always enjoyed watching you charge up the students at the pep rallies.
See, I'm telling you, people are still talking about him, Ken.
This is not on the Wikipedia page.
My favorite memory outside of theater, I played baseball a lot. I loved those guys that I played baseball with, and I was talking to one of them today, actually. I think that was the student body stuff was super fun because no one told me no. So I would come up with like these crazy ass ideas, and they would say, yeah, go for it. So I would just come up with nutso like stuff. Like what? Like I had an idea. Some of the stuff they finally did say no. I would do like, I said, I did the announcements every morning, and I would say, I would have like a joke of the day, and that day's was never play leapfrog with a unicorn. Remember, a lot of Mormons. Not a big. So then they like took him away that day, and then I was like, all right, okay. And then they brought him back the next week. I had an idea for like reindeer games, which is like a stupid like high school game where having like athletes wear fake reindeers and have people like pummel them with like dodgeballs and see you could actually get the most reindeer dead, but not dead. You know what I mean? Crazy crap.
Dark. When
it's like fun, like dodge. Ow, I got hit by the ball.
Yeah, we'll find out from your mom what that was really like. Stephen Webster says you were an excellent Hamlet.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. I mean, not yes, I was excellent. Yeah. Yes, I played Hamlet. Yes,
I like that.
Sweet.
Yeah. When did you find the theater? Like what age? How did this happen? Especially if you were a baseball player, that those two do not always combine, the sports and the theatrics.
No one in my family was in the arts, and no one in the communities where I grew up made a living in the arts. So I spent a lot of time with my grandfather, who babysat me a lot, and we would go to Blockbuster, which for the children who don't know what that is, Google it. But he would pick out movies that he loved, and thankfully he had a very, very broad taste. So, and we would watch them, and then I think because he didn't know what to do, he would rewind them and play them again. So we would watch like 12 Angry Men over and over and over and over again. We would watch Abbott and Costello over and over. We'd watch Singing in the Rain. We watched The Apartment and Days of Wine and Roses and Bridge over River Kwai. And yeah, it was an amazing education. And I think it ultimately, I loved seeing how much it brought him joy, and the shared like imagination of uniting people. And I loved that. And that kind of just stuck with me. Yeah.
You have any tips for all the folks out there? I mean, these are, we can have some fun tonight, but these are tough times. Any tips for anyone out there watching just about how to get through it, how you're getting through it and dealing with it and staying positive?
Well, I think leaning on the people in your life and staying connected with them, I think that's vital. And knowing that this too shall pass, and to help one another as much as we can. I think, and take one day at a time. I don't know what else. I'm watching these Cuomo briefings every day. They're like, it's like a drug to me. I need it. I love it. I mean, and as, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all we can do. And I'm reaching out to friends and family too, asking, what are you doing? How are you getting through this? And every day is a new day, and just taking it moment by moment.
Can you do an Andrew Cuomo impersonation?
The ventilators. I need the ventilators. That's all I got.
That's great.
No, I need some time. But I do like his sense of humor. I appreciate it.
Yeah, his Cuomo for president. I'm sure it'll happen. I'm sure it'll happen based on this for sure. Chris Cuomo, I mean, not Andrew.
I don't think that's going to happen.
That guy. I want to get you back to dinner with your wife, and in case your daughter has a blowout. So I will leave this here, and I wish you the best. And thank you so much for joining and adding a little light into everyone's lives out there. We really appreciate it. You're a super talented man and just a super guy as well. So thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks, guys. Stay safe.
Santino Fontana, everybody. Tony Award winner, and proud daddy as well. That's all we have, but let's do a little wrap up. Don't forget, tomorrow night we have another leading man from Broadway, James Snyder, Harry Potter, If Then, Crybaby. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we will be here. Don't forget, you can watch Santino again if you want on replay. It'll be up in like 5 minutes as soon as this is over. And all the other replays we've had, we're on episode like 487 already. No, it's like 44, I think. But that's a lot. 44. That's how many days we've been doing this. And we will continue to do it until Andrew Cuomo says, I don't need enough ventilators. I don't need any more. I got enough. Where's my brother? Anyway, this is why I stopped being an actor, by the way. It's shit like that. Okay, what else? Oh, let's just get out of this thing. Something to make you smile. Mary, bring up to something to make you smile. Max Grossman conceived, music directed, accompanied, and edited this video of Into the Woods in Quarantine. There's a bunch of great Broadway stars on this. Nikki Renee Daniels, Jessica Voss, a whole bunch of other folks. Super funny. Go to theproducersperspective.com/smile. You can watch that and all the other smiles we have over the last 40 days or so. This is the stuff you should scroll through before you're putting yourself to bed or your kids to bed at night. Don't scroll through CNN. Scroll through the smile stuff. Let it put a smile on your face. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all the support you give to the Actors Fund. We'll see you tomorrow night with James Snyder.
We're getting the band back together.